You ever get the whole you're bad at carrying a conversation shit?
Um, it's not that I'm bad at carrying conversation. It's just kind of they give you that look, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" It's like I'm trying to keep things going. You're just not helping at all, and it's
I know. Okay, yeah. I think it's like I think mainly the people that I have felt that from are people that are bad at carrying a conversation.
that is so true. So
Like
true.
if you have to say that, you are bad at carrying conversation. I am not a conversation starter. I am not a conversation holder. I am a conversation filler. I'll come in and I'll say some clever shit, and then the conversation is done.
That's how I feel. I'm more of a reactionary. Like I work off of what you say. I'm not the greatest at starting things or even ending things. But depending on what you say, I'll throw in my little 2 cents.
Like if you actively try to have a conversation with me, first of all, I can almost guarantee you, if you're interested in the conversation and we're compatible with each other, I think that's important. Being compatible with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna have a conversation with someone that you're not compatible to.
Yeah, I agree. I've had some of the most awkward conversations with people that's lasted like way longer than it should have, and then people like everything feels so natural. We'll be sitting there talking for hours.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, honestly, if you have, I especially hate when girls say, if you have ever said that, I really want to not be as mean as I can. Like, I really think you're dumb if you've ever said that someone's bad at carrying a conversation.
Yeah, because I mean, it's conversations is a two-way interaction. It's not just one person who just keeps talking and keeps talking. No, it has to be going both ways, or it's not a conversation.
Yeah, because like personally, I feel like it's an attack on me. Like, because I was out with a girl recently. It was about a month ago, I think. I don't even know, but she was trying to talk to me about my past in like high school. And if you've ever like graduated high school, it's like a lot of people just don't want to go back there for certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I just didn't want to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so in the future right now, but it was like and then later on, and this especially pissed me off. Later on, she texted me. We were in person, right? Later on, she texted me. You just kind of deaded the conversation. Yeah, because it was a conversation that I didn't want to have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have a conversation that I don't want to have.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it goes both ways. So if one person doesn't want to have this conversation, then it's over. That's the end of it. It should die there, and move on to something else.
Yeah, yeah. Like you would think it'd be that simple.
Mm-hmm.
You would, like being an entrepreneur. First of all, starting a conversation is a freaking skill. But so is holding one, and so is feeling one.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you really want to have a great conversation, you got to find a starter, you got to find a holder, and you got to find a filler. Because usually that filler will juice up the freaking conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll throw in some really like thought-provoking, what's the word? Like high risk?
Sure.
No. It's
High level.
controversial shit.
Okay, right.
I will come in and say some really extremely controversial stuff out of nowhere, right? I'll just be listening. And I think that's a skill I have too, to listen. I have a skill to listen, right? I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Now what you're saying may be stupid, right? But I don't always want to say that, especially if I don't know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's like I love hearing other people's thoughts on things, and I just eat that up. You know, I can listen to people for 30 minutes easy, just about one topic and how they
That's why
feel about it.
podcasts are amazing.
Yeah, like you get the reason I love podcasts is because you get to learn so much of just how other people see the world that you would never meet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, and especially for people, because first of all, I think our generation has just made a thing of thinking that, like, sending like 100 emoji twice is a conversation. I never got that. I do it sometimes. I don't really get that, but it's genuinely to the point where that's such a it is a conversation. Like, I'm not even like talking down on that. The fact that we're in tune with each other, right? But usually it's in a situation where you know you're not going to have a conversation with that person. You don't want to have a conversation. You're busy. You're whatever. It's been said. Y'all both understand it. 100. Walk away. Click off. Whatever. It's just go about your day. Right?
Mm-hmm. See, my thing is with text conversations, it's like a different realm.
I hate text.
Yeah, it's
like genuinely, I fucking hate it.
I wouldn't say I hate it. I hate getting to text a new person and have to adjust constantly because you have no clue how to respond to things. People who don't know me, like, I'm really sarcastic, and you know, sending that through a text, you're like, oh shit, that was just mean. Like that was just unnecessary. Like, that's not what I meant. You know, it's supposed to be a joke. Like, have some humor, but you can't have humor in text to the level I need it, at least.
You can't.
Yeah, it's too static. You know, there's no emotion in it. But
I think I just personally thrive on just human interest, right?
Yeah.
I can't. I think my problem is that I can't exit and re-enter a conversation, especially if it's with if it's 4 different conversations with 3 different topics 10 minutes in between. I just can't do that as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just doesn't work like that. Cause first of all, the conversation, the way I speak, is like it's done on the 3rd text. It's done after that.
Yeah, I feel like another issue I have. Oh man, texting is. But let me continue. Another issue I have with texting is I like to go in detail a lot. So, you know, I'll send these like mini light novels out here, and then people are like, well, I don't know why you sent this book to me. This is a text message. Keep it short, sweet, and simple. And that's not me. I got to get it all out because I don't want any misunderstandings, but you have to make sure you don't get any misunderstandings in a text because there's none of that human interaction in it. It's all been removed. And I like to describe things, and sometimes it's just too much for people, and they just, you know, drop me, and that's fine. But that's just the way I text, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's another thing. I said it's hard, you know, adjusting to different people because, you know, some people got the spam text where they send you 18 messages on a simple question, and then you're like, I don't know which segment to respond. Do I send you another 20 messages back, like with each one maybe numbered or something? It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, and like going back to the whole like conversation thing, like holding a conversation thing, like it does come down to a lot of people just not understanding and lacking empathy for the fact that one thing, like, social anxiety is real. That shit's real. Especially like in big groups.
Oh yeah.
That's shit's real. Like the heart pounding, you feeling like it's a whole bunch of people you don't know. that shit's real. And it's even worse nowadays because there's a whole bunch of people that you don't know that a lot of the time you feel have no interest in getting to know you.
Yeah. See, like I said, I mean, we, like you said, take a lot of interest in what people have to say, but a lot of times people just don't care. You know, they couldn't care less about your opinion, and they won't even give you a chance. And it's just, I don't know how you can go through life without listening to others, or at least, you know, taking a little bit in.
See, I do. I just subscribe to the fact that if you're a listener, you're a listener. If you're a talker, you're a talker. I don't like to change people.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't, cause I think there's a lot of people on the flip side that would say, you know, I don't understand how you can go through life not speak. That's the next topic. I think there's just like growing up, I just heard a lot of stupid stuff. Yeah, like if you ever asked me why I don't talk, first of all, I just want to break down that question. You are asking me to verbally speak my opinion on why I don't speak. That's just like one. And second is like, I do speak. So my question wants to be no and just leave it at that. But that doesn't make any sense. And I don't want to speak. I don't want to have to, because first of all, if I answered that question every time I got asked, I would answer it as much as I'd have to correct people on the correct pronunciation of my name, which I don't anymore because I don't care. I really don't care that much.
Feel you on that.
But it's just like I don't speak because I don't want to speak to you. That's probably one, or because I'm unapproachable to most people. I feel like, or a lot of people are unapproachable to me. Unapproachable to me. This is a bad combination. So I got nothing to say. Well, I got something to say, just not to you, just not right now. And you're and the stuff I have to say, I'm almost like 100% sure you have no interest in hearing. So it's just, whatever.
Yeah, I've been asked that question a few times, especially at my last job, and she's like, it was actually one of my people in my restaurant that I worked at, and she asked, why don't you say a lot? You know, why don't you have anything to say on this? You know, most of the time it's probably because what I have to say on this, you would not like at all. So I'm just gonna keep the peace, keep quiet, keep doing my job, and I'm gonna let you do you. All right. If something comes up where I need to speak, oh, you best believe I will. But this situation right here, right now, I have an opinion. I'm gonna keep it to myself for your sake.
Coworkers, especially if you've ever worked in an environment where you're the young person with a whole bunch of like grown-ups, and I'm gonna be careful as to how I say this, and you know you are going to amount to more because you have a little bit more drive, and this is literally just like a summer job, and they look and they speak down to you, even though, and I feel like you also have to earn this mindset, even though you are the hardest working person there. You feel like you're an extremely intelligent person in general, and they speak down to you, and just because you keep your mouth shut and you keep your head forward and you work hard, they think you're a sensitive person. That shit pisses me off. I'm not a sensitive person. I've been through too much to be a sensitive person. Do I have low moments? Yes. But I think a lot of that roots from fakeness and people just not being honest and true with me and the fact that I've known that my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So that pisses me out. Like, I'm capable of more than you think I am.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that oftentimes the harder working people, especially when they're younger people, get shafted just constantly? They get, loads of work thrown on them because their bosses know, oh, they'll do it, even though the person who's supposed to be handling it won't do it, even though, they're getting paid least.
Here's the thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But like Charlemagne the God says, you have to a lot of the time see opportunity even when there's not a paycheck attached to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And at the end of the day, that responsibility being thrust onto me and how I worked and me not being like, oh, I don't want to do all this work. I ain't getting paid for this. I'm tired. I worked 90 hours this week, which actually happened before, mind you. That in case you don't know, that's 2 work weeks and an hour. I mean, and 10 hours. So that's a whole nother day. I'm just saying. It has happened before. Yeah. Shut up. All right, so shut up. You're lazy. All right? Anyway, I said that, and that winded up within under a year. I think my pay jump was from minimum wage, and before I left to start detail, I was very close to making hourly, like 12 an hour. Commission on details, which the only full week I worked because I was at school, which I'm also gonna go into because I was working like 3 jobs, and the only full week I worked was spring break. So while y'all were at the beach, I was like, this is an opportunity for me to work, and I worked that week, and I think it was like 50 hours, and my commission was like 100 or something. It was like a $500 check or something, right? And that was me already getting bumped to a job that I was supposed to be paid $9, but because of how hard I worked, I got paid $9.5, which is only like 50 cents. But at the end of the day, it's because of how I worked. And to me, I guess to answer your question, yes, but I use that instead of, because I see it as an opportunity that they see something in me, and if you choose to work, you can benefit from that.
So what you're saying is, all this stuff may be getting thrown your way. But instead of, just treating it as, man, this is just awful. I don't know why I'm doing everyone else's stuff. Treat it into an opportunity because they see that you are a hard worker and that if you get this job, this task, it will be done and you will be rewarded later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was genuinely doing supervisor work, which literally like supervisor manager. I was doing that kind of work.
Yeah.
When after about 3 weeks, I trained a supervisor on my within my second month. I trained a whole goddamn supervisor how to do his job.
Yeah. That honestly, when I was at that restaurant, something similar happened to me because with the health inspections and all that stuff, your supervisor is supposed to be there. She was like, I'm gonna go take my lunch break, and she's like, you got this. Okay, I got it. I got us a good grade on everything except for some minor stuff that was out of my control. And then because they were pretty much training me to be the lead, which is just under a supervisor. But what happened was because they asked me if I'll be back next year, and I told them I don't know, possibly, but I'm also looking at some other things. I got school, and so they just skipped me on the lead promotion. They gave it to someone else, who I think he did come back. But what I'm trying to say is I'm okay getting skipped on the promotion and stuff, but the fact that they still treated me like a lead and a supervisor, you know, I wasn't getting paid like one, like you said, and they knew I wasn't gonna be there, but they still just kind of used me while they had me. You know?
Honestly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be. If you are not about to work,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, like, I don't know how you're gonna be successful in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Or you need to find something that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not going to work, I don't even know what to say that, because like it just doesn't make any sense, like how you could have a job
Mm-hmm.
and not work, because at the end of the day, every single job out there,
Mm-hmm.
anyone who's doing anything
Mm-hmm.
is doing way beyond their job description. That's just how life is.
Yeah.
That's just how life is. And the people that embrace that are the ones that win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just the ones that win. So,
see, like I said, I'm not even like mad about it, honestly. It's just, you know, just seeing things like that happen constantly. And then another thing that happened there was the way they promote people. Not just in my case, but they promote managers over divisions that they know nothing about, just because, you know, they know somebody. Or, you know, this one guy came in, first day he became a supervisor just because he knew one of the managers. How do you feel about stuff like that?
well, first of all, that's kind of how the situation where I trained the supervisor. He just came in.
Mm-hmm.
He was, you know, he was an energetic guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all of a sudden he's more qualified to lead, even though no one really respected him.
Yeah.
And he never had control of the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated the front, which is why I got promoted to the back, because I worked myself out of the front.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of shrugging my shoulders and staying there.
So how did that fare for him though, the supervisor?
Well, first of all, he when I came back, because I took a quick leave to focus on school. When I came back, he was there, and then all of a sudden I came back one weekend, and he got fired for doing some stupid shit, for treating an employee wrong. Literally, I think that they said creating an unsafe work environment, which is very much a fireable offense. Even though in Georgia you don't need like a reason to fire someone, you just fire them for no reason. So, what was your question?
I asked how it fared for him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's
So
gone.
so he got fired,
He
and he had gotten fired before. I think the reason he didn't have his old job and he had to come to Cactus is because he went to jail or something. It's like, dude, I understand the whole second chances thing, but if you're not going to take advantage, I have no respect for you.
Is there something?
Okay. Let me clear. I have no respect for you if you have control. I know there's addiction, there's circumstance. I know there's always that. There really is, and the more I listen to people, and the more I understand that. There really is like circumstance. But
is there a moment where you think people don't deserve a second chance?
The third chance.
The third. Okay. All right.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I think
if you do it a third time, like,
yeah,
you're hopeless. Like, really? Come on, dude. You knew it was wrong the first time.
Yeah, but of course, like, yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think as a person, I need to do a better job of expecting that people are gonna hold me to that standard, as well as holding other people to that standard myself. But I think logically that's how it should be.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's that third chance. So.
What are your thoughts on having this upcoming semester, because we're both college students? How do you feel it's gonna work with you in this business and having to focus on school all at the same time?
Well, I think I have to recognize my privilege as
Mm-hmm.
someone who's not paying any bills,
Mm-hmm.
who's someone who doesn't need to feed a family,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who is loaning money to go to school. And I need to put school as my first priority
Mm-hmm.
and realize that this is a side job at this point. We put in a lot of work over the summer to create what we've created,
Mm-hmm.
and now we almost gotta let stuff kind of fall into place. But at the same time, I also feel that there's going to be a lot of people that, even though we weren't making as much money this summer as a lot of people, at the end of the day, we can work 6-hour days and leave with $100 in our pocket, right?
Yeah.
Do that every weekend, or do a Thursday morning job, and same thing. So I mean, I'm just hopeful that it's just it's not a priority anymore.
Okay.
I feel like that's where I'm at.
It's on the back burner, but it's still there.
It's still there, and I think the work that we put in now is going to be seen. But I gotta stay focused, because when I started this company, I'm not even sure if I want to go too deep into to this now.
Mm-hmm.
I really put school in the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ended first semester with a 3.93 and winded up ending second semester with a 3.48. And yes, I'm throwing my GPA out there, but it wasn't because the classes were harder.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because it was a heavier school workload.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I overloaded myself on other stuff and regret that now. I don't want to do that again. What about you, man?
Well, see, my situation's a little different. It wasn't that I put anything in front of school at first. One, I really just wasn't motivated. I went in as a computer science major, and some of the classes I've had to take, the preliminary classes, are just not for me. I still really enjoy computers, and I feel like I can do more without staying a computer science major and not destroy my GPA taking these ridiculous classes that have nothing to do with technology at all. But because my GPA
why do you think they don't have anything to do with technology? What class are you talking
Okay,
about?
so the main classes, well, obviously, we have to take our lit classes, English and stuff, which is all fine. That's not that bad. But like classes like, you have to take a science for coding, which is computer science for those who may not know, because there's a bunch of little things that fall under the umbrella of computer science.
So by science, you mean like chemistry or
Yeah.
biology?
So I have two choices. I had two choices of sciences that I could choose. I could either choose chemistry or I could choose physics, both of which came with labs. And I chose chemistry. Worst decision of my life. By the end of the class, we may had a third, maybe a little more than a third of the class left, because the class was that ridiculous, that hard. And I understand that computer science has a lot of math in it, which I get that. But it has a lot of math in it that has nothing to do with atoms, molecules, chemical combinations, etc. You don't have to balance an equation to find the code to some antivirus stuff.
So because I actually have a lot of opinions on the school system.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that the schools need to start adjusting to the amount of technology that we do have available?
Absolutely.
So use of calculators.
Yeah.
Automatic equation balancers.
Because once you go into the field, you're gonna have that stuff available to you.
I feel like part of the the thinking is so that they understand what is happening, not just the fact that that's the result. Which I didn't. It was my problem learning math in high school. That it was more about the result than what was happening. So that's why I hesitate to say that. Because at the end of the day, it is geared. I think what would make more sense is that you have the science, the chemistry related science majors.
Yes.
Focus on that.
Yeah.
And then have a different for people who don't. That just makes more sense to me, because at the end of the day, there's still a different class. I'm pretty sure that a different chemistry that chemists and biologists take than other science, than like non-majors. I know I took a non-major biology my first year.
It's kind of like what they do with one of our math classes. We have calculus, and then we have business calculus. Business calculus is easier for obvious reasons, because you don't have to go as deep as you would if you're, someone a math major would need.
I just feel like it would make more sense. But at the end of the day, let's also backtrack to the point that is that better for learning though, because it's very well documented that business degrees are becoming more and more irrelevant. Even the people that have business degrees, usually they said it has nothing to do with their degree.
Yeah, I agree, and they say that they just tell you stuff that's readily available for everyone already.
That's why I changed my major. I was like, there's literally a Barnes and Nobles over there, and for the price of a class, I can get like 100 books. Right?
Yeah, learn everything you need.
Learn everything I need, not just learn everything you need. That's all you need to know, and on your time and on your understanding, and be able to apply. At the end of the day, I genuinely think that by the end of this year, I'm going to learn more than the average business management major. Yeah. By actually having a business. Right?
Yeah, I mean, field is shown. That's why they do internships. Field work is where you get the real.
They are going to school to work for me.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Pretty much.
So I mean, it's just like,
and it's
you know you're learning all the stuff that I don't need to know.
Yeah.
You learn all the stuff that I don't need to know, because I can hire someone else to do it for $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year or whatever it is.
I mean, I completely agree. Like, one of my a good friend of mine, he actually has his own business going. He went in as a business major. He's like, this is dumb. Like, I make more money than all these kids in here combined, and I already know all this stuff.
You make more money than your professor.
I'm saying
you make like that, like Patrick Beck David. I have 3 major mentors in my life, virtual mentors. I've already said Charlemagne the God, a radio broadcaster and professional troll, and Patrick Beck David. He runs Valuetainment on YouTube and a insurance industry company, and Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V, who owns VaynerMedia, a media company that specializes in social media. And Patrick Beck David, when I first started putting this company to get together, part of the reason is because I was spending too much time watching his videos and learning from him. Let me also say, I learned more from him than I learned that entire semester.
Mm-hmm.
And that entire year, including first semester. Let me also say that. And he kind of put it like this, very simply. I said all that to say this. He said, most of those professors, even at Ivy League schools, have never built a business.
Yeah.
They don't actually know. They know how to organize a business, not start and run it and be successful at it.
That's kind of going
well,
back.
Most of them.
Yeah. That kind of goes back to when we were talking about the learning versus results. Sure, they know how to get there, but if they don't actually get there, is there really a point? If you can get the result without, I don't know, maybe having all the information they may have, but you're still getting that result, that's where you want to be. That's the pedestal. You know, they're the legs right now. Okay, they know how to get there, but they aren't there.
Yeah, I think, you know, college was always pushed. It was never really an option for me. But my and I would ask why, not even like because I didn't want to go to school, just because I was like, why? And the main answer my parents would give me, well, my main rebuttal is like, but you know, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and it was like, that's 1 in a million. No, I mean,
maybe to be that rich, but not like to be millionaire.
When you actually think about the number of millionaires and successful people that didn't go to school or went to school and are doing nothing and have nothing to do with or working in a field that has nothing to do with their degree.
Met plenty.
I think one of the main things that why people force school is so that we can work. I mean, learn how to grow up and
work ethic.
Work ethic. At one point, I was working like a lot of hours, a lot of hours, and I was having to be very organized. And it had nothing to do with school.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's be real. As far as school went, I skipped a lot of classes. Second semester, and I did fine in the classes that I skipped because I didn't need to be there. It was a waste of my time.
It was.
It was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what I was trying to say, but that's that.
It's been said.
It's been fucking said. It's been said.
My thing about the work ethic is school. I mean, it shows you work. Oh my god, I can't speak. Work ethic. But for me, where I really got my work ethic from was sports. I feel like that did a lot more for me than, you know, going to school all tired and stuff, really not having to be there and, you know, not really having to try to get results. But in football, if you didn't try, you're going to get destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Like, you can... We had this thing called a mat room. They said it was mental toughness, and it really was.
If you are listening to this podcast and you were a part of the Derek Cook era of Cal football, you understand what this man is about to say.
Well, let me tell you about
and he was there in 2013, mind you, where it was pretty bad.
Awful. Terrible. When I tell you the work ethic Derek Cook taught us, along with the rest of those coaches in that mat room,
whether you like him or not.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, he had his ups and downs, but I respect him with
he represents
everything.
The world.
He really does.
As bad as that sounds when you really break it down, he does. And that was his job as a high school football coach.
Yeah.
To represent the world. And also, you know how actually I'm not going to say that. Go on.
But and another thing that brought for me was, it's not only how hard you work, even if you have a talent for something, Like Tavis said, Derek Cook will not put you in that position if you're not working hard. He does not care how talented you are. You will not be put in that position if you did not work as hard as everyone else. If you probably should work harder because you're already at that level, so it's harder for you to get even higher.
I I also subscribe to the fact that it's easier to work hard when you are consistently working for something.
Mm-hmm.
I think starting a business, one of the hardest things is to hold yourself accountable even when shit isn't like happening. So you're putting in a lot of work and you're not sure if it's going to amount to anything, and that's just a mental game, and that's one of the difficult parts of being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Having to hold yourself accountable, and because there's no one, there is no one to tell you to get up and go to work.
Yeah,
it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you, and you're not on a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
People think, you just clock in and clock out whenever you want to. That is true, but
the thing is, you gotta do it though.
You get out of it what you put in at the end of the day. So if you're only clocking in and clocking out 3 hours a day, you're not gonna get much in return.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it just at the end of the day, if you want to live an average life, work like an average person.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I think to your point, to sports, were you done?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You got it.
Kid, first of all, if you're an adult saying that kids are lazy, especially nowadays, you're crazy. You're absolutely insane. Because these kids are out here working 16, 17-hour days ever since elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me otherwise. They're getting up at 7 o'clock, just like you, going to school,
mm-hmm.
going to practice,
mm-hmm.
doing homework, waking up, doing it again, having games on Saturdays, tournaments that run like 7 to 10 o'clock at night, both days, and then doing it all again. Some kids are playing 2, 3, 4 sports, and they have the audacity to call us lazy. Even the kids that are playing video games all this, like this dude right here.
It happens.
Those guys, like, I get bored doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting better. Like, they're good.
Yeah.
They're freaking good. The people that are doing that are freaking good. And it's like they're putting in work, and it is a profitable thing if you do it a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of parents need to start supporting and pushing and teaching how to be you and be successful at being you. That's how people are making money nowadays. Being you.
Yeah.
Being, cause you're too transparent nowadays. We see you, bitch.
See, my thing with that is the being you part. I was talking to a lady when I was in a vacation in Florida. She's a nurse down there in Florida, and she told me, I was like, I'm going through these classes. I know it's where the money's at, but like, I'm just really not enjoying it right now. And then she's like, I get that you're supposed to enjoy your work and all, but at the end of the day, it's a job. And I didn't say this to her at the time, but I was thinking, like, it is a job. Why can't it be a job that I enjoy? And a job that, is more profitable than this, that I still enjoy. A job where I can bring other people joy. Why did it just have to be about the money?
That's a miserable person. That's all I gotta say about that. It's a miserable person that gave up on their dream. They're trying to bring you down, or chose the wrong dream.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all that is.
See,
I know I've had three or four, and this is like my fifth, and I may have an eighth. I don't know. It may happen. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I see. You go to Walmart, and you see those employees there's always an exception, but a lot of times they seem miserable. My sister worked at Walmart, hated it every day, just drained her. Like I don't want to go through that every day, just for a paycheck. I would rather just, even if I'm not making a lot of money, if I'm doing something that I enjoy, it is way more worth struggling hours a day, just wanting to, be done. I almost said something, a little reckless, but not right now. You right, bro. So what I was gonna say, sometimes you just want to, get.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, I mean, it's just not worth it to me, Even though I sit at home a lot of times and just play games, and I'm making.
It's not all I thought you were going to say. I don't know why, cause I know you. I know that's how you fucking.
I mean, dude, listen. One time I was looking at some scissors, bro. I was like, man, I could just be done.
Okay.
But
all right.
What I was saying is, it's just really not worth it. I got the amount of stuff, cause I love tech. The amount of technology I've gotten from the jobs I worked, that I actually somewhat enjoyed at times and hated at others. Was it worth it? Some may say yes, some may say no. Would I do it again? No, I would not do it again. I would not work in, for sure, one of those places ever again, even if I made less money, which is already minimum wage. But it's just not for me. I feel like I could find something else, even if it was cutting people's grass. At least I can put on my headphones. Get like $50 per yard, and you can find a way to enjoy what you're doing without going the conventional route.
Landscapers make some stupid money, bro.
They do.
So the detailers.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted now.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted now.
A professional organization, not even professional. You can make a lot of money if you're good at your job, no matter what it is.
That's just fact.
No matter what it is.
It's just fact. I honestly I feel like shit if I'm not working. Mm-hmm. I really did. I feel like shit if I'm not working.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was, I don't want to. I keep like touching. I really need to tell the story, bro. So after this, I'm telling my football and my baseball story because I keep wanting to tell. I'm gonna touch on when I was always hurt and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is wired somehow. Like I felt guilty because I wasn't working. 'Cause I couldn't squat or anything, and I feel like I couldn't communicate that as well, so people didn't know. So I thought that people thought that I was lazy, but I'm not fucking lazy. I'm very far from it. I like to think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see.
That's all I can say.
I'm gonna touch on that real quick because I don't want to get into it either. But there's a difference between what happens when you got injured and when certain other people got injured and they just wrote it out. They're like, it still hurts a little. I don't know if I can make this. Yeah,
but no one like cleared that up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's.
So for you, it felt.
I felt like I felt like people were looking at me like one of them, and I hated the feeling of being looked at like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's one of the things that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had to show up.
There was a moment in my career where I felt like that too. There's nothing out of my control, but like I said, that's for another day.
God dang, like I really think y'all gonna love that story. Love all the pain it brought me. Anyway,
people love pain.
Let me also just say this: I had a conversation. I had a fallout with a long term close associate. Last night actually, and he said to me, these are his words. I'm gonna keep getting this money. And what I have to say to that is, first of all, you're not getting any money. I'm not getting any money. Most people our age aren't getting any money. I'm tired of seeing that on social media. you're not getting any money yet.
Yeah.
Unless you are making a lot of money or enough to support yourself. If you are living on your own,
paying all your bills,
mm-hmm. and I'm not even gonna say driving a nice car, but if you got something that gets you to point A to point B, you got a roof over your head and you got food to eat,
mm-hmm.
you getting money.
Yeah, yeah.
You living with your mama. Drive a car your mama bought you, and even if you make payments on it, even if you paying the insurance, or you're eating your mama's food, and you have the option.
Yeah, yeah.
You are not getting money.
I realized
you're not.
I mean, I'm pretty fortunate, you know, but I went into the wrong store the other day, looking for a restaurant. I went into a furniture store. I was like, oh my god, this stuff costs like thousands. I can't even imagine trying to furnish a small apartment or a studio.
I go to Walmart and I'm like, dang, I could use a couch right now, but I got a chair that creaks and it still supports me. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know why? 'Cause I ain't getting money yet.
Yeah.
I'm in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working. I ain't getting money. I'm working. And in the process, I'm acquiring a little bit of funds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting money how our generation defines that. I'm just not. Okay.
I mean, even at this point, I wouldn't be able to support myself. Nowhere near.
Yeah. Especially not enough to discredit my friends.
Oh.
And friendships and relationships. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. That was one of the most absurd things I've ever heard actually come out of a person's mouth that I know.
Mm-hmm.
That was ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. And I know that that's one of the reasons that I cut him off, because I know that it ain't really there. It ain't really there. That's just straight facts, yo. Like, yeah. Yeah.
We should end it there.
I guess, yeah.
All right. Well, this is a good podcast. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, we talked about a lot of different things. If there's anything else you want to hear more about, we're gonna get into the football story, and I'm sure you're gonna love those.
He's heard it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna try. I'm probably honestly, we're probably gonna have to release multiple episodes of this one, because there's also the baseball story. Right, so
hey man, you know,
it's gonna be interesting.
I like multi-parts. You know, you make a little trilogy, like the next Star Wars, be nice. But yeah, I think that's all for today. I was Devon Blanchard, and this was Tavis White,
Stuttering Introvert,
also known as Devon the Great. I'll catch you on the flip.
The only one who calls himself that.
Hater.
All right, peace.